In this episode of Primetime Sportz, we take a dip in the land of the sand players, who are feeling amped up about being ranked number 7th in the nation.
And have you all been wondering how the men's basketball team has been doing after their big win against Baylor in the NCAA tournament? Well, guess what? We have an exclusive interview with Ryan Green.
And for those of you who are interested in what's going on in football practice, we've also got an exclusive look at some of their key players. Well, welcome to Primetime Sportz here. I'm Homero de la Fuente, alongside Marcus Verde.
I like that.
And it's just getting started, so let's get right to it.
So I know there's a ton of media coverage nationwide after the game. How did you and your teammates react?
Just like any young 19-year-old would. We just soaked it up. We really just want to live in the moment. None of us, other than maybe 2 or 3 people on the team, have ever had that much attention in our lives, from a basketball game. So for us to get that exposure for ourselves, for the community, for the city of Atlanta, it was great.
This past week, it was a historical moment in GSU sports. Georgia State won its first game in the NCAA tournament since beating the Wisconsin Badgers in 2001. In the first round of this year's tournament, Ron Hunter and his own team defeated the Baylor Bears in the first round by a late surge of R.J. Hunter. Our own Jared E. Oliver has more on their March Madness.
Well, certainly the Georgia State Panthers made a lot of noise in this year's NCAA tournament. From Ron Hunter tearing his Achilles in a post-game celebration, Kevin Ware scoring 18 points in the Sun Belt Conference Championship put him back in the national spotlight. And what some people would say is that Georgia State did the impossible. They beat the number 3 seeded Baylor Bears 57-56. Throughout most of that game, they kept it close, but a late surge by R.J. Hunter brought them back when they were down by 12 points with 2 minutes left in the second half. R.J. finished that game shooting 5 for 12 from the field. Not his best shooting performance by far, but of course he made it count when it was needed. Georgia State at this point was the hottest topic in college basketball. Everybody wanted to know about them. They had numerous interviews with ESPN. They even made the front page of USA Today. But of course, the second round, all the attention was on Georgia State's bench with Ron Hunter after he fell out the chair, with R.J. Hunter hitting that game winner. But of course, Xavier's bench stole the show. They had a combined 38 points from Jalen Reynolds and Miles Davis, and they defeated the Georgia State Panthers 75-67, which was too much just for the mid-major team to handle. But now that the season is over, the big question now is, will R.J. Hunter return for his senior season, and will Ron Hunter return if he gets a big contract from another school? So far, so good. There have been no reports of any schools offering him a contract. R.J. Hunter, there's been an anonymous scout that did a report with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution saying that he's a high-character guy, high IQ, great character. He's a great shooter, able to come off screens and distribute the ball as well. But some of the negatives with him is his shooting percentage. And since he's labeled as a three-point shooter and a shooter, 30% in a mid-major level is not the best. He has the ability to create his own shot, not really, not very strong with the ball, maybe not the best ball handler. He has a hard time creating his own shot. We've seen at points this time, we've seen numerous times in this season where he's had difficulty of getting through screens and defenses when defenses were really physical with him. He's not necessarily that quick, and he's about 180 pounds, which most guards in the NBA weigh more than that. If he comes back, his stock won't rise dramatically considering all the attention and exposure that he got this season. But if he wants to come back, one thing that he could improve on is just trying to be the best product he can for the NBA draft. Reporting from the Georgia State Sports Arena, I'm Jared Oliver, Primetime Sportz.
It's been a magical March for the Georgia State athletic program. Baseball is looking to capitalize off of some of that luster from the other programs. After slugger Matt Rose went down with an ankle sprain and the team facing a 5-game losing streak, they head on the road to UT Arlington to face them this weekend. We step over to Rashad Milligan for the diagnosis. Rashad.
Thanks, guys. Unfortunately, I believe the lords of the underground lyrics were a little bit too accurate with everything that comes up must at the end of the day come down. And that's been the case for the GSU baseball team. After getting off to a great early season start, a winning record in the Sun Belt Conference, the team is going through a bit of a funk right now, 5-game losing streak. All 5 games they've lost without their star player, Matt Rose, who's out to an ankle injury right now. The team fatigue could carry a little bit into it as they're playing double headers and multiple games in just a few days. And also defense. Defense is a thing that Matt Rose told me a couple weeks ago. It was vital to their early season success. And defense is a thing that's been non-existent pretty much during this losing streak. But Panther fans should just relax. See, it's a long season. The season goes all the way throughout the academic semester here at Georgia State University. So in the words of Aaron Rodgers, RELAX, relax. For Primetime Sports, I'm Rashad Milligan inside the GSU Sports Arena. Back to you. Play ball.
After this much-needed spring break for all of us, the football team finally got back on the practice field. Our own Patrick Apia got a chance to see the team in action. Let's see what he had to say.
The Georgia State Panthers football team returned to practice this past week. They used this week to prep for their first spring scrimmage for Saturday. The Panthers are heading to the fall season with lots of excitement and are poised for a great season. Here at the GSU Sports Arena, I'm Patrick Apia, reporting for Primetime Sportz.
There are so many sports here at GSU, and some just don't get the shine that they deserve. Our sand volleyball team defeated the number 4 team in the country last week in Florida State, and now they have risen to number 7 in the nation. These ladies are on fire, and Alexis Townsend, geez. Sports reporter Jordan Jenkins has more.
Sand volleyball is one of those sports here at Georgia State that does not receive enough recognition. These ladies are ranked number 7 in the country, and today I interviewed 2 of the players who shared with me that this is just the beginning, and they are ready to continue to make a statement. This past weekend, the Georgia State sand volleyball team defeated the number 4 team in the country, Florida State. It was a tight win, but being that the girls were the underdogs in the situation, they had nothing but opportunity, and they took it. Number 3, Jansen Button, explains the emotions she was going through when it came down to the wire.
I had to make sure I kept my emotions in check and SARS as well. And just going into it, I just knew like we had nothing to lose.
While she worked on her emotions and staying focused, partner Sarah explains that losing the first set means nothing, just like winning the first set means nothing. Each set is a fresh start.
Every match has 2 or 3 sets, so like just losing the first one doesn't mean anything, just like winning the first one means nothing. And to me, like, I know when Jance and I are on the court, like we can do anything, so if we just put our mind into it and just start a new set with new mind, we can do it. I think Florida State is a great team, so no matter what, like I knew it was going to be good volleyball and a great game. So just like 1 point at a time.
And a great game it was. Jansen explains more on her expectancy of herself and the team for the next upcoming games.
I just knew we had to go out and do our job and get that team get the win for our team as a whole. It wasn't really about us at that point. It was about Georgia State making a statement that day.
But they cannot get too high or get too low, because as fast as the victory came is as fast as it can go. Reporting from the GSU Sand Course, Jordan Jenkins, Primetime Sports.
The Georgia State track and field team is traveling downtown to Georgia Tech after returning from their trip to the Sunshine State of Florida. So far, the ladies are doing pretty well. Brooklyn Hart can tell us more.
This weekend, the GSU women's track and field team will be competing in the Yellow Jacket Invitational right on down the street at Georgia Tech University. This will be Georgia State's 3rd outdoor meet this season, but the first one held in Atlanta. So all you Panther fans, come on down, get on MARTA, get off at midpoint, and walk on down to Georgia Tech to watch our ladies compete against top competitors. The entire team is extra excited to finally be competing in our own backyard, and probably the most excited one on the team is head coach Chris England. In an exclusive interview with Coach England, he stated, "The Yellow Jacket Invitational is always highly competitive and a well-run, so the team can look forward to trying to accomplish personal bests and in some cases set school records. With this said, you Panther peeps are in for a treat. This meet has high expectations, but I have no doubt that these ladies will not succeed." Reporting to you from the sports arena, I'm Brooklyn Hart, Primetime Sports.
For all your Panther needs, we have a busy slate of games coming up Saturday, April 11th. First off, the GSU spring game kicks off at 12. Next is followed by softball, baseball, men's soccer, softball again, and then to cap it all off, men's soccer again. Softball will take on App State at 1 and at 3. Baseball takes on UL Monroe at 2. Men's soccer takes on Thomas and North Georgia at 2:30 and 5:30 respectively. It will be tons of fun. We hope to see you all out there. And there will be a bounce house. Get it? It's a bounce house but with a P, a photo booth, an inflatable slide, games, team autographs, and more.
Well, this is going to conclude another episode of Primetime Sports. If you find yourself missing us, you can always follow us on Twitter at Prime Sportz with a Z, or see us on YouTube at GSU Primetime Sportz. I'm Omar de la Fuente here.
I'm Marcus Green.
No, he's not.
I'm not. I'm Marcus Verde.
There you go.
But we'll miss you, so contact us on all of our social media networks. Goodbye and see you next week.